It was a beautiful summer day when a group of friends, Jack, Sarah, Lisa, and Mark, decided to go on a hike in the woods. They had been planning this trip for weeks and were excited for the adventure. They packed their bags with food, water, and some camping gear and set off into the dense forest. As they walked deeper into the woods, they stumbled upon a strange, isolated part of the forest. It had an eerie feel to it, but they shrugged it off and continued on their way. Suddenly, they heard rustling noises coming from the bushes. They stopped in their tracks and looked around, trying to figure out where the sound was coming from. Out of nowhere, a dark figure appeared in front of them. They were all startled and froze in fear. The figure was humanoid, but it had a twisted, almost animal-like appearance. It let out a deep, guttural growl, causing the group to scream and run in the opposite direction. They ran as fast as they could, trying to find their way out of the forest. But it seemed like the unknown entity was always one step ahead of them, chasing them further into the strange forest. The friends were now lost and had no idea where they were going. As they were running, they stumbled upon an old abandoned cabin. It looked like it had been abandoned for years. Without thinking, they ran inside and locked the door, hoping it would keep the entity out. But they were wrong. The entity managed to break down the door and entered the cabin. The friends were now face to face with the entity, and they could see its sharp claws and glowing red eyes. It lunged towards them, but before it could reach them, Sarah remembered something she read about in a book. She quickly grabbed a nearby jar of salt and threw it towards the entity, causing it to scream in pain and disappear. They were safe, but they still had no idea where they were or how to get out of the forest. Lisa then noticed a map on the wall, and they realized they were in a part of the forest known as the Forbidden Woods. Legend said that anyone who entered these woods would never be able to find their way out. Feeling determined, the group used the map to navigate their way through the forest. After what felt like hours of walking, they finally saw the edge of the woods. As they stepped out of the woods, they collapsed on the ground, exhausted and relieved. From that day on, Jack, Sarah, Lisa, and Mark never took any adventures in the forest lightly. They learned always be prepared for the unexpected and to never underestimate the power of legends. As for the Forbidden Woods, they never spoke of it again, but they knew they would always have a story to tell about their experience in the mysterious forest.